Hey Mel. Hey Ash. How are you guys today?
Good morning.
Good morning. I am wonderful. How are you guys today?
I'm great. I had a fantastic Christmas. What about you guys?
Had a
I
great.
did.
Yeah.
I did. I got to hang out with the kids at my son's house. So it was the first year ever that instead of all of the kids being at mom's house for Christmas and mom cooking and cleaning and doing all the things, I woke up with just my youngest child here and she's 14. So we woke up at like 9 and opened a couple gifts and we made some breakfast together. And at like noon, we went over to my son's house and my son and daughter-in-law and son-in-law had all cooked dinner and
Oh,
done the whole gift thing and the tree thing. And so we just hung over there. And then I got to come home and I didn't have to cook and I didn't have to clean. And it was just so interesting of a feeling to be taking Christmas and going to my children's house for them to host me for Christmas dinner.
That's awesome.
It
that is
was.
awesome.
It
That is
was.
that's like a new milestone. Like that's huge, you know?
Yeah.
I
It's big.
definitely felt it. It definitely
Yeah.
was.
I did something different too. I did not cook. We had Christmas dinner catered in, so I didn't have to cook. I just had to heat
Oh,
everything up.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have to say, what a difference. I spent the day playing games and I wasn't cooking, doing dishes, cooking, doing dishes. I was just with the fam all day. And then we just had to reheat the dinner. It was, it's not my dinner, of course, it didn't taste like my dinner, but it was still amazing to just have that extra time with my family.
I love that.
Nice.
Love that. Um, I had a really interesting conversation with my sister on Christmas, and it was interesting. So she called me, and we were talking. Obviously, we just Merry Christmas, da 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 da. We were talking, and she's like, "Oh, you guys are going to mom's?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, she's like, "Well, I heard, and you guys know most, and anybody that has listened, right? Mark comes for Christmas, he comes for Thanksgiving, which is Colin's dad, and I don't even think anything about it. Like, right? It's just Mark comes for Christmas, Mark comes for Thanksgiving, um, and my sister said, I thought she's like, I heard Mark is be bringing a standing rib roast. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what he's bringing. Colin said it's some standing something or other. And she's like, well, that's what mom said. I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. She's like, wow, I think that she's like, that really shows he like values that you are allowing him to be there. And I was like, okay. And she's like, he brought, you know, $60 worth of pies. And mom told me last year he brought like $100 worth of pies. And he gave us gifts. He gave us, Liam brought Liam a gift. This was Thanksgiving. And she's like, it really shows he values you, that you guys allow him to be there. And right, I didn't say anything. I was still I'm like in my head, like I had Ashley's face on my face at this, like you guys can't see her, but like what? Like I'm puzzled.
Sorry.
Because like that's what it's like. And she's like, I really, I wish she didn't talk to him at all. And my sister has been very angry with Mark and doesn't like them. They don't like him because of what he did to me. Well, if like, I think that's something I've learned in recovery that I don't need to be angry with someone if somebody does something to somebody else. I might not like it, but I don't need to keep that, right? That's not me hanging on to those feelings. And so she didn't talk to him. She didn't talk to him. She didn't engage with him. She said hello, and that was it. Didn't sit in the same room with him. Nothing.
You mean when they were here at Thanksgiving, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, now that I see that he actually values being there, she's like, I wish I would have engaged with him more.
Interesting.
Right? That's my thought as well. Like interesting because
So wait, sorry, before you go into your thought, what did you say to her? Did you do anything or say anything to attempt to do anything? Like, did you say, what was your response to her?
No, so here was I did ex try to, like, I could hear there was some puzzlement, and I really wanted I tried to explain to her why I do it. And not, I don't know, and I'm hesitating to say why I do it, but that feeling and the reason of inclusion that I feel so strongly about. And it's again, I'm paraphrasing this entire conversation, but you know, I said to her, I was like, I've really reflected on this relationship with Mark. Um, and I love Colin. I say all the time, I would lay down for my children. I will give my life willingly to protect them. Whew. Um, no hesitation. And I know you guys understand that, Ash. I know you do because this is something we've talked about. But how do I sit there and I say that and so deeply feel that I would lay down for my children and not get the fuck out of my own way for my children? Right? See that me? That's the way I look at it. I sit here and I say I would die for my children. I would do anything for my children. I would give my life for my children, but I can't get the fuck out of my own way for my children because I can't put my feelings aside for a couple of days a year. To me, that kind of goes along the same kind of that same thing where I love my children and I want the best for my children. And that means I can put my feelings aside. I don't need to carry those feelings. I can have them. They're there. Right? I don't love Mark. I don't like half the shit Mark does, but that has nothing to do with Colin. So it's easier just to, it's just come spend the holidays, be part of it. And I also, I told her, I said, we had very different upbringings. She got the best of my mom and dad together. Oh, yeah, just interrupt, Mel, just interrupt.
I have no, I don't want to interrupt you. I have a question because you never
Yeah,
answered the question.
I'm processing the question still.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Go. Is it true?
yeah.
What she said, is it true?
Is it true? Oh, what she said, is it true? What do you mean?
Does he value you?
I don't know and I don't care.
He values, I think that what she said was he values being allowed to be at family gatherings.
Yes.
And I think that based off Mark's actions in the past, over the past years, we can determine that that is true. And I think that what I hear Dawn saying is this awareness that if I love my children so much, I would die for them, then I also have the responsibility to love my children so much that I can get past my own feelings of anger and resentment and allow their father to be a part of holidays and to be a part of their special occasions with me, with their mother.
With
Um,
and keeping my feelings out of that day.
right. And what I hear about that is letting go of control.
Yeah.
Right. I what I hear you saying is I didn't allow him to be a part of it. I took control of the one thing I have control over, and that is my actions.
Hmm.
And I got myself out of the way of my son and his father and my parents and their ex son in law to have the relationship that they want to. And I can still be there and be a part of it and enjoy my son and my parents' special day with them.
Right. My mom called me afterwards and she's like, Ross and I just were talking about how such a great day it was, and we really enjoyed the three of you being here. And, Mark it was just so nice to, okay, I can sit here and say I can enjoy Mark come to the holidays, but Mark is still annoying. I'm not going to take that out of right?
Hold
And
on a second. I need you to rephrase that.
wait, what? I don't
Mark
even
is
know what I
still
said.
annoying.
Mark's annoying.
Mark is
Mark
not
is
annoying. Mark is Mark. You
Mark
are
is Mark.
annoyed by Mark.
Mark is Mark, and Mark is annoying to me. But it's funny because he is annoying. Like Mark is annoying. Yeah, Mark is annoying because right, there's this conversation around like my mom was very happy, and even Colin on the way home, like Colin's like, what did Dad do that for? What was he thinking? Like there is those, it is Mark, and Mark is annoying. Mark is being Mark. Um, but and it still was a great day. And I I don't know, I just really reflected on that a lot. And then the last thing I'll say with about this is there was additional conversation with my sister, and I was going to say this, like, I said to her, I said, we're 8 years apart, actually a little over about 8.5 years apart. Um, we grew up in very different households. I grew up in a volatile, crazy, horrible, abusive home. My parents did not like, right, could not even, they couldn't, yeah. And then my sister, they got divorced and she was 3. Um, and my parents couldn't talk. They couldn't do anything together my entire childhood until the day Dylan was born was the one first time I remembered hearing them it after their divorce having a conversation. And it was, he's here, he's beautiful. We did it. Right, our daughter did it. We have a beautiful, like all of a sudden everything changed. And I couldn't have joint anything. My parents could not be in the same room with each other. I had separate graduations. I had separate birthday parties. I had separate um, everything. Like everything was separate. It was my dad's. I remember one of my stories is I remember on Christmas morning, we had a blizzard and my mom Ross drove all the way up to my dad's, and it was about a 30-minute drive, and my dad lived in the country and we got snowed in. My mom threw such a fit that my dad actually had to find someone to get a snowmobile to put us on and take us to my mom across the field and all of this. And right, my mom controlling. And I'll never forget that. Like that to me is such a one of those core memories where my mom could not put her feelings to the side for the safety of us, right? If it was, I mean, it was horrible. We were snowed in. Um,
What was she so scared of?
I don't think it was fear. I think it's a mom needs her kids on Christmas.
right.
Is that what
It's
that meant?
Christmas Day and it's my kids. What do you mean they can't come see me on Christmas? You better find a way to get my kids home.
And when
It's my day.
all your value is in your children, because that's my
Yeah.
mother,
I have to have Christmas with my kids.
right?
Yeah.
Because I can't have Christmas without my kids because then it's not Christmas. And right, there was always there between my parents, there was always this fuck you type situation, right? You agreed.
Volatility, hostility. It's my day. You
Yes.
better get them back here no matter what. You find a way.
Yep. Yep.
So her need to have control of the situation was so big that she could not see that she was actually going to put her kids in physical danger
But how
to
many
get them
times?
to her.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
How many times does that happen?
that's the sickness.
Right.
That's the
Like,
That
think,
is
sickness.
the sickness.
guys, think about this, okay? And it's crazy this story happened because here I've got one of my own. My mom called on Christmas Day
Oh, okay.
and she had a new phone number. And so it wasn't blocked. And
Oh.
now let me be real. The town she called from, the area code, I knew it was her,
Mm.
right? I know everyone else in that town. I have their phone number saved that would call me. I know my mom's in that town. So when the phone rang, I looked at it, I saw the number. I went, oh, that's probably my mom. All right. Do I want to answer this? Right. I haven't spoke to my mom in months and months. We were no contact for quite some time. I had her completely blocked. I answered. I talked to her. She told me how just the fact that I answered the phone, her life was great and everything was better now because I answered the phone. I told her Merry Christmas. Her and I talked for maybe a minute. And then she asked if Cameron, my daughter, was home. And I said, yeah, Cam was sitting next to me. So I just turned the phone on speakerphone I don't trust my mother. I have many years of reasons for that. I'm not just going to hand my child, even at 14, a phone and let my mom say whatever she wants to her. So I hand the phone to Cam. Cam says, "Hey, Merry Christmas, Grandma. How are you?" "I'm good. How are you? What'd you get for Christmas?" They go, blah, blah, for about 5 minutes. And then it starts to get silent, like they're not sure what to say next. And so my mom says to Cameron, "So is your dad there? Did you see your dad for Christmas?" And Cam goes, "No, my dad's not here." And my mom goes, "Oh, well, I just thought your dad would be with you and your mom on Christmas. Shouldn't your dad want to spend time with you and your mom for Christmas?" And I interrupted and I said, "Mom, Nick has not been here for Christmas in years. You know, Nick is not going to be here for Christmas. It is inappropriate and not kind of you to ask my 14-year-old child where her dad is for Christmas and to make her think about that. Thank you for calling. It was great to talk to you. We love you. We'll talk to you later." Cam goes, "Love you, Grandma." And my mom goes, "Well, but all right, I love you. Bye." And that was the end of the call. Now, I she could have kept going.
Hmm.
She could have had plenty more to say. And I could have gotten angry, right? I could have gotten controlling. I could have gotten, "This is
Yep.
the first time I'm talking to you. You know damn well what's happening. Why would you do that? Blah, 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 blah." It's insane to me that she would do that. And she's my mom, right? She's this child's grandma. You would think she would have this child's, kind of like you were just saying, Mel. How did this mom look at her child and grandchild and think, this is what I should say to them on Christmas, right? Knowing where everything is. And my mom was trying to form a connection in the only way she knew how,
Yeah.
kind of like you said, Mel, right? The other, that is the only thing she knew to talk about. The only way my mom knows to show that she loves someone is to show them that she's considering the things that are going wrong, quote unquote wrong, in their lives. What my mom doesn't realize is that those things aren't wrong. And all she's doing by bringing this up and saying this is making this child think about the fact that her father's not here for Christmas and where is he? What's he doing? Who's he's with? What'd he give her? Why did he only get money? Why didn't he even spend time? Like, there's
Well,
no
that's
reason for that.
to me, that is what a person wants to do. If they're going to bring up something like this is what they want. They want that conversation. Why is what? Like that emotional enmeshment, but it's not healthy.
And that's not what I'm allowing, right?
No.
Like, I Mel, you used this term in our meeting the other day, unblended versus blended. And that's such a great way to picture it. I picture my life and I picture me and my mom, and there's zero blending, right? Never the two shall intermingle. Yes, we can touch. Yes, we could talk. Yes, we could come together, but never shall the two blend. And what my mom desperately wants, and in her opinion, blending is connection.
Hmm.
Um,
It's a lot of like that for a lot of codependents.
Hmm.
and what does it
Blending is
mean to
connection.
not be in control in that moment? Right? It means I'm not going to allow her to blend. I am not going to tie my emotions to hers. In that moment, I'm not going to get emotional that she's bringing this inappropriate question up and asking this to this child. I'm not going to I am not going to blend my emotions with her emotions. I am going to keep us separate, and then I'm going to form a boundary and not allow that boundary to be crossed.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to say I like that blended unblended because that's the way I look at Mark, right? We can be in the same room together. We can spend holidays together. We can engage, but we're not blended, right? Because blended
Right.
is this, is
Right.
this, meaning
It's
to
two
coming
things being put together.
right. And I'm for those that listening and not wa can't watch, or which is everybody, right? I'm interlocking my hands. That's blended. Mark is there. He is part of the day, but and I something else you said it made me think about too is your mom was asking a question because your mom doesn't know your life. Doesn't have the capacity to know your life, meaning, right, we're sitting here thinking like, why the fuck would you ask that question? You know damn well. But your mom doesn't have the capacity to go outside of that. She oh, let me go ahead and grab a hold of a question about Nick because I know that about her life.
Well, that and not only that, but my mom, her favorite conversation is my father and my stepfather. Her and my father have been divorced for 40 years,
She is a codependent and
right?
her partner has become her life. And so why isn't Nick your life?
Right. Her and my stepfather have been divorced for 30 years, and she's still his favorite conversation. So, in her mind, the way to connect with me and the way to connect with my kid is to talk about the man that's not in our lives.
Yeah,
And in our minds, the way to disconnect with us is to try to talk about the man that's not in our lives, right? Like, I just don't. And trying to figure my mom out is not my job. That will never be
right.
my side of the street. That is being controlling, trying to figure out why she says and what she says. And then I can try to change it. And then I can try to show her. That's not my business.
Yeah,
It's not. The only way I can have any kind of a relationship at all whatsoever with my mother is to make sure we stay completely unblended, no matter how much blending she attempts to do.
right.
Right? When she says, "How's your life?" "Oh, it's good." "What's new?" "Oh, just working and taking care of the kids. That's life."
Mhm.
And that's all she gets out of me. It's very different when I talk to my dad. It's very different when I talk to my stepdad. It's very different when I talk to my brother or my sister. And our relationships are very different. I can't control who my mom is. I can't control what my mom says or does. And the way she is unsafe for me. I also can't control my dad or my stepdad, but they respect boundaries,
Right.
right? When I say I don't want to talk about that, they stop talking about it. When I say I disagree with that, please don't try to force your opinion on me, they step back. My mom can't do that. So I can't have those conversations with her if I want to maintain a relationship with her.
Yeah.
And that's the only way, right? A year ago, I was still trying to control how my mom treated me. I was still trying to control what my mom thought of me. That's why I still fought with her, right? As she slammed the door and told me I was the worst daughter in the world, I acted as though I didn't care, but it stuck in my head for months. I went no contact because I couldn't let it go. That
Hmm.
was because I was still trying to control how she treated me. I was still trying to control the things she said to me.
I think it's really interesting this like what you just said. Like right, and thinking about the last year, you and I and Mel's been in there with it as well, but right, there's been this place of you and I talking about, and you and I've talked about Nick and your mom a long time, right?
Yeah, we've been
Just
doing this 5 years
we
almost.
have.
And these
And
are the two main things in my
yes.
life
And
that I
they
had to
it's
heal from.
right. And it's really interesting to me. Again, just being there from like the whole like being there for that whole journey. And for those that don't know, I was there at Ashley's first meeting in a meeting that wasn't you were work it, you were worth it. Um, so we have grown together. Like no one knows my growth to the level Ashley knows my growth. I no one knows like right there's we've been very lucky in that. But I think about all the crazy, air quote crazy in your life, even that has been up that's been there up until this past like the summer. And it was like everything you could let go of. Everything was easy to let go of, let it go of, right? Meaning I can I can let go of my kids, right? They're still my kids. I still love them. I can let go of people, friends. I can let go of how I feel about at work, but there was this hanging on to your mom and Nick, and it kept crazy, right? Until last year, last Christmas, last year. You let go of your mom and life got a little less crazy. And then now letting go of Nick, life is not crazy. Like it's taken this
I
calmness.
just want to clarify. Yes, you're 100% correct. It is letting go of both my mother and Nick has allowed peace and serenity to come into my life.
Hmm.
And just because of where I am in my life, and just because this is going out to millions of people, I just want to clarify, when you say letting go of Nick, you're not talking about letting go of a relationship with
Oh no.
Nick.
Mm-mm.
I've been done with a relationship with Nick for years. What I had to let go of is the resentment. I had to let
Yes.
go of the hurt. I had to let go of the anger. I had to let go of not only the him and I portion of it, but I had two adult children who Nick raised for 17 years that he now has nothing to do with. I had to let
Would
go of that too.
would you say you let
And
go of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions of Nick?
I would say I processed through my
Okay.
thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and they have changed to a perspective. I do still have thoughts, feelings, and opinions about Nick. He's my daughter's father.
Yeah.
He will always be my daughter's father. I will always have thoughts, feelings, and opinions about Nick. And let me be real, there will always be love for Nick. I will
Hmm.
always have a love. He is my child's father. I spent 20 years of my life with that man. Not all together, right? But for 20 years of my life, I'm 42 years old. And for 20 years of my life, I've been working through shit with Nick. So there will always be thoughts, feelings, and opinions. What the thoughts, feelings, and opinions are now is very relative to the amount of parenting he does with my child,
Hmm.
right? The amount of interaction, which is minimal. We have very, very little interaction. He has very little interaction. So the thoughts, feelings, and opinions are very minimal.
Yeah.
I let go of wanting closure, both with my mom and with Nick, right? I let go of wanting accountability. That's I am a right fighter. I am a right fighter. When something is right, I fight for it. And when someone does something that is wrong, that is hurtful, is it's just wrong, right? When you look at the actions of a person, you can look at those actions and you can say, damn, that's wrong. For me, when I look at someone's actions and I say that's wrong and it's wrong to someone I love, I become a right fighter. You need to be right. You need to be accountable. You need to apologize. You need to make it right. And I have let go of being a right fighter. It's not so much I've let go of my mom or I've let go of Nick. I have let go of being a right fighter. They don't have to make it right. They don't have to be right. They can be wrong. They can be fucked up. It can be
Right.
wrong, and that's okay. I just don't have much to do with it.
I think that's what I mean when I say let go of their thoughts, feelings, and opinions.
Yeah.
It's there. That's the thing. The key word in there is there, not the let go, not the thoughts, opinions, and feelings. It's there because I can still have my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. But letting go of their thoughts, feelings, and opinions means they can be wrong. You don't need them. Whatever they think doesn't mean anything to you. And there's where I think that letting go of control of them
Yeah.
happens.
Big
Just
time.
their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions are theirs. They can think them and they can just not impact me. And I think that's what it is with Mark, right? If I called Mark right this second and said, "Hey, I've reconsidered and I want to get back together," he would be on my doorstep in less than 30 minutes and he lives an almost an
A
hour away.
heartbeat.
And I don't entertain that. I don't worry about that. That thought, that feeling, that opinion for him has nothing to do with me. So it's not something I consider when I include him because it doesn't matter to me. I know that that will never happen because I don't want it to happen. But it doesn't mean that's not true for him. But that's his. He's got to deal with that. If there's any feelings or struggles about spending the holidays or nostalgia with spending the holidays with me and Colin and wishing it would be different. That's Mark's. That's Mark's. That has nothing to do with me.
for
Mel went
sure.
into her listening thing again, and she's forgetting that she's part. No,
No, I'm not. No, I did want
I'm
to
just giving
say,
you a hard time.
no, I did want to say something. I was just waiting, because what everyone is saying is so perfect, but we talk about the let go. Like it's just so easy to do.
Oh, it's not easy.
No, and like I'm thinking
Don't
like
make me choke on my water.
no, I'm thinking of a listener and they're hearing this for the first time and new to recovery and they're like, how do these people just let go? The
I'm glad
let
you say that.
go, the let go is a process and it doesn't just happen overnight and you just don't switch on a thing like a switch in your life and you go like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let go of all this stuff." It doesn't work like that. The let go is a complete process in itself. It's about choosing to do things differently. It's about like seeing how you're showing up in the pattern and then changing it.
Do you know 5 years ago, I used to ask my best friend, Marcia, I love her so much. I used to ask her, how do you do that? How do you just let it go? Somebody hurts you, somebody says and does something so fucked up, and you're just like, oh well, I'm not going to talk to him anymore, and you just let it go. And I used to ask her all the time, please, how do you do that? Her and I have been friends for 20 some odd years. And literally, like, I never understood. And over the last, as Dawn was saying earlier, this journey, the last 5 years, this is not a short process. I have been working on letting go of my mother and Nick, specifically those two people, for 5 years in this program. That's just in this program. Never mind before that, right?
Mm.
Nick and I haven't been together in good shit. The last time I saw a Facebook post the other day, it said 7 years ago when we broke up. That was the first 7 years ago when he moved out of my house and moved into Smithfield. That's 7 years I've been letting go of Nick. My mom, I've been letting go of her since I was 14 years old. I have been struggling with processing through letting go of other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions about me for as long as I can remember.
Hmm.
I think I would say to it is this. If anyone wants to understand the journey, and letting go is probably it is the hardest thing there is. Like letting go of other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions is,
It's an entire core belief process change.
yes. And I think if you want to experience the process, especially for Ashley and I, especially of the journey of letting it go and seeing that it isn't an overnight, it's not easy. Go back to podcast number one and listen to them. 3 years of podcasts of us talking about letting go, talking about working through shit that we've had to work through. This is, and we're going to continue on talking about shit we have to let go of, and right, this isn't, it's not over, it's not done. It's like I said, to hear the journey of letting go of something is it's been documented for us. And it's been a lot of work. There's been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of, right? And there will be more tears. There will be more struggles. I don't think to just say we've let go and it's done and over with is not a true statement either, because something tomorrow, something next week could happen, and there might be a feeling that I have to work to let go of.
Yeah, I mean, I say I've let go of right fighting, fighting to prove, and when I say right fighting, I don't mean fighting to prove that I'm right. I mean fighting for what I believe is right.
Hmm.
Um, Fighting for other people to do what I believe is right. That's the key there. Letting go of right fighting, it did not just change my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about my mother or my ex, right? Or my children's father. It changed my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about everything I interact with. When I talk about being able to let go, it's letting go of control, is what it is. And when I let go of control, I let go of fear, I let go of worry, I let go of all of those stories. It, I used to be the person that had 1,000 what if scenarios planned out for every single situation. And I knew exactly how I was going to react to each one of those scenarios. And I knew what I believed was right, quote unquote, in each of all those scenarios. I don't do any of that anymore. Now I am living this moment right here today. I don't have any what ifs for anything. It's just what I am going to do right now, who I want to be. It is not, well, what if they say this and then I say this? And then if they do this and then I do that? And then what if this and what if that? That is not in my vocabulary anymore. It's not in my thought process anymore. And that's a lifestyle change.
Mm.
Um, I'm in a what if moment myself right now, and I'll just discuss it on air and I'll let you guys do your thing that you guys do. Um, so we all know about my friendship with Stephanie. It was a 40-year, I don't know if the viewers know, the listeners know, I had a 40-year friendship and she was my best friend, a lot of blending, completely blended. We were like, I felt like we were one person. And you know, we fell apart. It was 40 years there we weren't growing and it fell apart. And this will be like we're inching on 2 years almost two of us not being friends. And she's recently gone through a lot in her life, and I'm not a part of it, and that's okay. That's okay. But there was another friend of ours, a mutual friend, and she was still a part of it, and she's no longer a part of Stephanie's life either. And I went into my old automatically. It happened. There was not even a thought to it. I automatically like went like this. Like if you could see me, like went upright and go, "Oh my God, who's taking care of her?"
Pause for 1 second with your
I
story.
know.
So,
Pause.
so, so
No, this
automatic. It
I
is
just
so automatic.
automatic.
When we fall back into survival patterns, it is a habit,
Mhm.
right? It's not a we don't choose to fall back into.
Oh, she paused just a sec, guys. Ah,
She did.
she's paused. So we.
She froze. Yeah. Can
Oh,
you can
oh,
hear me, right?
I can hear you fine. She's
Oh,
frozen.
she froze.
She's really froze.
Oh,
There she is.
Okay,
sorry.
okay, we're gonna have to take this part out. So start again what you were gonna say.
How much did you hear?
Uh, sh-
Just start
Auto
over.
it was automatic.
So, right. So it's not like when we go back into those survival patterns, it's not a choice. I don't choose to worry, I don't choose to control. I just slap back into survival patterns.
Well,
Like,
it's a part. It's a part of me that exists in me that just came up for a second and said, "Holy shit, well, who's her friend? Who's taking care of her?" But that's an old part. The new part, the recovered part comes in and says, "Wait, she's got autonomy. She needed help. She could reach out. She's okay, and you're okay." But, however, it has taken 2 years to develop that part. And it's taken 2 years of making different mental choices in my brain.
so Mel, when you call, so from the moment you said, well, who's taking care of her, until you were like, wait a minute, no, she's okay, she's an adult, she can reach out if she needs. How long was that time span, would you say?
Both can exist at the same time.
Okay. So would you say it was like first thought, second thought kind of thing?
Yep.
Perfect. That's growth. That's
That's
recovery,
good.
right? Recovery is not, and I think Dawn said it earlier. Recovery is not, I don't ever fall back into that old habit, that old pattern, that old routine. It's not, right? Somebody that bites their nails and they quit biting their nails, that doesn't mean they don't ever accidentally put their nail in their mouth again. It just means Once their nail is in their mouth, they go, oh crap, I'm biting my nail. Let me stop that. I don't want to do that anymore. And they remind themselves not to do it.
But what I noticed is that I automatically thought that someone could not take care of themselves.
That's a hell of an
That
awareness.
Yeah.
was a big awareness for me. That, like, how controlling is that?
I have a question. I wrote it down because I did not want to forget it. But
Go ahead.
was there any feeling of validation in that?
What do you mean? Like,
Ooh, I could see that. Like in that friend not being her friend anymore.
Right? Oh, see? Somebody else sees what I saw. Somebody else felt what I saw, right? I was, and
No.
I'm gonna use Ashley's term, like I was right, right? That right fighting, like meaning,
I guess that would mean it would be what lens I'm in, right? At that moment. I guess, but I didn't have that lens on today where I
I think
needed
that's healthy.
that.
but it's healthy.
You didn't need the validation. That's
I
awesome.
don't need the validation. I mean, if anything, it was sadness that,
That's
this is
healthy.
this is where
It
we're
is
at.
healthy.
This is
Yeah.
where we're at.
Compassion for the other person
Yeah.
without allowing that compassion to take over, right? That's
No,
always been my Achilles heel. I feel compassion for another person and I feel like that other like, oh, who's going to take care of her? Let me go run and be the person to take care of her because she needs somebody to take care
exactly.
of.
But I
That's
can,
always
but it's knowing you can feel compassion and just stay in compassion.
leave
It,
it right
it
there.
Yeah, it's all about my new click word. I guess my new click word this term of in this season of my recovery is I'm learning containment. That something can exist inside of me and it can just stay contained.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's okay to have a feeling and do nothing with it.
Yeah, and that that's taking control onto a whole new level. That's self-control.
I think I think part of recovery, getting to know ourselves is being able to, we talk about the boundaries, right? Is defining where does compassion stop and where does codependency begin in that?
Exactly. It's a fine line.
It is a fine line.
But it's a very clear line, I
It
think.
is.
But
I think the line is when I am not comfortable helping, then I am being codependent.
Right.
well, and another thing too, compassion, well, it can be an action, but compassion is a feeling. Codependency is just a bunch of actions.
That's true
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Right. A
Um,
feeling can be a feeling without an action.
Yeah, you can feel compassion and you don't have to act on it.
so I actually had a situation happen yesterday where um and I think right, I'll just preface this. The growth in it is the fact that I didn't do it. Right? That is the growth, period. So, talking about dinner next week, um, for my birthday, my one girlfriend is preparing it or is coordinating it, and she said she's gonna, well, she sent out an invite or a text to all my girlfriends, and um, she was like, I'm gonna come up with some places that have availability, and I will let you choose from those places, right? You can choose from, or if you come up with some place, whatever. Great. So it went out, and then my one girlfriend, who I love her dearly, and she has been a test of she is a test of my recovery, and she reminds me, I remind myself of that every day because she is very, in her life, she is full steam ahead, control life, control, like just full steam ahead.
You just take charge.
Just take charge. So text goes out. Mind you, she's in Hong Kong right now. She's been on, and she was in Tibet. Now she's in Hong Kong for the last couple of weeks. Like she's been, and I get this text probably within a couple of minutes. Hey, you should pick a place off of the list my our other friend sent just as a reel from TikTok. And I thought about it for a second and I was like, no, because you're not coordinating this. My other girlfriend, who I love dearly, is coordinating this, and I'm going to let her coordinate this because that's right. And the girlfriend I'm talking about, the other girlfriend I'm talking about, she's the coordinator. Because for the most part, I love food. I'm going to go wherever. I don't really give a rat's ass, right? I go for the company. I go for the the relationships and all of that. So but I was like, no, she's coordinating. She jumped on it, and I was like, she's gave me some lists, or she's gonna find some places that are available, and she's gonna send the list to me. That's all I said, right? Let it go. And so the list came, and I do know both of my those people live downtown Tampa, so they've been to a lot of places, maybe that I haven't been to. Um, and I thought for a minute I should ask them, what place have you been here? Is it good? Have you been here? Is it good? Have you been here? Is it good? And I stopped myself, right? I stopped myself and was like, no, Dawn, you are a grown ass woman who can Google every single one of these restaurants. There was 10 restaurants I had to choose, like she gave me to pick from. And I was really, really torn between two restaurants. Um, And so I just took pause and I kept looking and looking at the menu. I went to the reviews and right, I took in a lot of information. And I made my choice reluctantly because I knew a choice had to be made. And I chose a restaurant. And then so my girlfriend, great, whatever, and she texts me back and she's like, "Hey, I got a table, but it's only outside. What's supposed to be like 40, 45 degrees here this coming week. I mean, I know that's warm for a lot of people.
No, that's cold. I'm not sitting outside in 45
Thank
degrees to eat my dinner. That's too cold.
thank you."
Sorry.
And whatever. And then so she blew it out to the group text, and my other girlfriend, she's like, "Oh, their food's not very good. I've been there and it's not very good. When you sit outside, the service isn't great." And I'm just like, whatever, because again, it's to me, it's the company. But then I'm like, exactly what you said, Ashley. I'm like, no, it's fucking cold. And I'm not trying to, because I know myself, I'm going to have to bundle up to get there because I'll be cold. Then I'm going to have I'll have some alcohol, and then I'll be sweaty because I get so hot because going to be a 55-year-old woman. And that just doesn't sound fun and pleasant at all to me. Let's change the restaurant. But the whole point of this story is, right, there were those thoughts in my head, and I recognized them and consciously went against them. There was part of me that said when my girlfriends, came back, oh, I should have asked her. Like I mean, I'm sure she had been there, the place I chose originally, but I didn't. I didn't. And it's because one of the things for me has been struggling, and this is comes down to self-esteem, and I know it's not a control thing, but it is for me in a way of controlling myself and has been about not making the right choice. Um, and I wanted to make the right choice, and it wasn't
Quote
about
unquote, right.
yes, and it wasn't right. There's no wrong choice. If I really truly feel, and I do, I don't fucking care where I go to eat. I don't fucking care. Let's go to fucking McDonald's. Like I'm going because we're gonna laugh and we're gonna have a good time, and I just love these women, and that's how I want to spend my birthday. So, but it was also a conscious thing of, hey, Dawn, you can pick a restaurant. It's okay. I'm gonna give you, like, I had to give myself permission I had to kind of take my own control back, right? Of you can do this, you can pick a restaurant. That was the one research I didn't do, what the weather was going to be. Shame on me. Not really, um but that's one of the things. It's taking control of myself and my thoughts and opinions and being able to make a decision and not have to worry about what someone else's decision is or thoughts and opinions and feelings are on that. It's letting go of
Mhm.
their thoughts and feelings and opinions.
Something that just came to me, um, and it's really funny with control. And I remember like and actually I still sometimes do this where I'm in control, I'm taking control, I want control so badly. I've like barreled myself in that I do have control, but then when I have the control, I'm fucking miserable. You know, you want this so badly, you've taken over, and then you got it, and you're like, you look
Why do
around,
I have to make
have a,
all the
the
decisions?
Yeah,
decisions. Why am I so
I've been there,
resentful?
done that. Ugh.
And then you get so resentful. It's just, it's the sickness.
You know,
It's so crazy.
it is. It is. And then but it's so funny. It's like I used to also think, right? The first thing my therapist told me was when I was working with her was about choosing a restaurant, right? Choosing a restaurant, choosing what I wanted on the menu, all of that stuff. And I used to be like, she's like, there was part of not feeling good enough in it and controlling what I would look like and people would think of me. But there was also part of it, what I'm realizing today, and I realize now, I really don't care. I
I
don't care.
just don't
I
care.
just don't care.
I don't care where I eat. I don't care what their menu options are. Take me wherever you want to go. I will find something that I'm good with eating. Food is not that important to me. I just don't care where we eat. Please don't ask me where to eat.
Exactly. And I can also say, hey, I'm craving Chinese food. I'm
Yes.
craving Korean food. I'm craving Greek
Or
food.
I really don't want that.
Exactly. Right. There is letting go of control and taking control at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it is, control is one of those patterns or survival skills that it takes a hell of a lot of awareness,
Mm,
like some self-reflection to see yourself in it. I found it like when I was like really doing a lot of like self-inventory and doing the recovery and all, and I'm still doing it. I still see the pockets that I still need to have control of.
hmm
Yeah, I'd had no idea. For the longest time, I had like I genuinely had no clue that I was controlling or I was
Right.
Yeah.
being controlling. I did not realize that what I was doing was considered controlling.
Neither did I. I thought it was, I'm protecting, I'm this,
I'm
I'm that,
planning.
I'm
Yes.
planning.
Planning.
Uh, or I just don't want to inconvenience somebody else. No, you just want control. So,
So I
yeah.
actually have I have something I was talking about with someone yesterday, and I want your guys' thoughts on it. So I met with this person yesterday, um, and she was talking about Christmas, and she was like, yeah, she's like, I read I I asked her how her Christmas was, and there was some pre-story that I'm not going to share in that part of it. But I asked her, ended up asking her how her Christmas was, and obviously as sponsors and in this time of the year, we ask, how are the holidays? How was your Christmas? How was your right? So, um, she says to me, she's like, well, it was okay. I spent it by myself. I didn't hear from the kids. I texted them like early afternoon, wishing them Merry Christmas, and I was thinking of them. And then I got a response from two of them. So what do you hear in that scenario? What do you hear?
A lot of victim.
What else?
How many kids? She texted three and she only heard from two.
She has four.
She has
She heard from
four,
two.
Well,
two.
what I mean, if you wanted to see your kids and hang out with your kids, why didn't you just wake up Christmas morning and call them?
I don't
See,
know. I feel like she, she,
and again, there's some pre-story here. So
okay, there's pre-story. Well, I feel like she's probably spending a Christmas without her children and hurting.
I mean, I don't. I again, not knowing the pre-story, it's very hard to judge, quote unquote.
I'll give you a little basis
What
without
what what I hear is somebody that wanted something to be different than it was, and did very little to change it.
okay. So she didn't. This is the part I will give you. She actually has not had a really true relationship with her ex-husband. It was not a contentious divorce. Two of her children she has not been speaking to. Two of them she has. She did ask her ex-husband to spend Christmas with her and the children, and he was all in. They met, they had a conversation. Um, and so right, so taking out her trying, she tried. She got it once they sent out the text that, hey, Dad and I had a conversation. We would love to be able to spend the holidays together. Um, a couple of her kids came back and said, we're not comfortable with that. They were just all not really comfortable with first Christmas trying to do this. Too much for them. Understandable, right? That's good. So there was effort, and um, so I don't want to say there wasn't. There was she really, really did try. But what I found interesting about this, and I think this is where I was kind of headed with it, is one, yes, was there victim mode or the victim mentality? 100%, right? And there was also control around it because I asked her, you waited, and Ashley, you noted this, like first thing in the morning versus afternoon. What was your intentions behind doing it?
Right.
Waiting
Why
till
wait?
Why wait? So,
To see if they're going to reach out to me.
and there you go.
But I also feel very strongly, and this is my opinion, I feel very strongly that as a parent, if the relationship with my child is not where I want it to be, it is my job to fix it. Yes, I have to respect my children's boundaries. Yes, a child is allowed to be no contact with their parent, all of that. And as a child who was no contact with her parent, and as a mother who has had issues with her own children, I feel very, 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 very strongly that if my relationship with my child or adult, is not where I want it to be, it is my job to do things to change it in order to try to get it where I want it.
And so what does how does because right, there's a fine line there. It goes back to control and not control of controlling it. Am I going to control it to make it happen? So how do you do it without controlling?
I'm
By
gonna,
Go ahead.
I just be keep your answer. Don't lose
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
Ashley,
You're good. Go
because
ahead.
I'm gonna tangent. One of the things that I have learned that has helped me so much is having understanding for people's capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have my capacity, and they're not going to have, and they're going to have their own lens, their own shit that they're going through, their own way of seeing things, and they just might have the sickness too. So I have to take all that into consideration, and that is something I didn't know I had to do before. I
Yeah.
was not aware. But I've noticed though that when I take into consideration another person's capacity to function in their life, I don't know, it kind of changes my expectations of them and
Mm-hmm.
my expectations of myself. So, I mean, they're kids. It's Christmas. The fact that and they do have a capacity of whether what they can be comfortable with. At least they're voicing what they're uncomfortable with, which is like a lot of kids wouldn't do it. They just show up and be miserable, or they would make the phone call and not
Right.
really want to. At least these kids have it. They have enough self-respect for themselves that they're going to do what they're able to do. And I think that's how I've changed my mindset is I've stopped, I've lowered my expectations a lot in that kind of thing.
So I think the only way to answer this question that you posed to me, Dawn, is for me to make it a personal kind of
Mm-hmm.
share. My oldest daughter had my granddaughter 2 years ago. And for the longest time, she did not leave my granddaughter alone with me. I couldn't even take my granddaughter out front without my daughter coming outside. I couldn't walk into the bedroom with the baby when she was little without my daughter, leave the door open, mom. Where are you going, mom? I've raised 3 kids. I have an early childhood education degree. I am a damn good mother. I am an amazing grandmother. I couldn't drive the baby alone. I couldn't babysit the baby. I couldn't hang out with my granddaughter. I couldn't take her to the park and play with her. I couldn't take her shopping alone. Like, and I had some very strong feelings about it. So at first, because of my feelings about it, my relationship with my daughter was extremely strained. There were months that we barely even spoke because she would not leave her child alone with me. And I could not understand why my daughter didn't trust me to be with my granddaughter. It doesn't matter that I would never allow anything bad to happen to my granddaughter. It doesn't matter that my daughter had no reason to trust me. What matters is that I am my daughter's mother. I love my daughter. I want a good relationship with my daughter. Yes, my feelings were hurt. Yes, I was disappointed. Yes, I was frustrated and angry and irritated for a little while because my feelings were hurt. When I acted out of my own personal feelings, my relationship with my daughter got worse, which made my relationship with my granddaughter worse. When I took my personal feelings and what I wanted out of it, and I started acting like a mother to my daughter, being supportive of my daughter, being compassionate for my daughter, being loving with my daughter, being understanding of my daughter's mind and her thoughts and her feelings and her opinions, things changed. No, I didn't immediately get time alone with my granddaughter. No, I didn't get what I wanted. Yes, it was still hard for me sometimes to try to understand where my daughter was coming from. However, I had decided that I was going to respect her opinion and I was going to respect her decision, and I was not going to push her to change her mind. I was simply going to support her and let her know that when she chose, I was here.
Hmm.
And that's what I did. Hey, if you guys, I know you said no, but if you want her to come with me, she can. Hey, not pushing you. I know you're not ready yet, but whenever you're ready, I would love to have the baby. Hey, I just wanted to check in and say hi and tell you I love you and I miss you and I hope I see you guys soon. No matter what the response was. No response, a negative response, a frustrated, irritated, angry, right? I got all of that from my daughter because we were stressed out with each other.
Hmm.
The only way I could fix it was for me to stop worrying about how I felt about my daughter's decisions and start showing my daughter that I respected her as a person, as a human, as an adult, and I would respect her boundaries and decisions, even when I didn't like them. And in my mind, that is a parent's job to do with their child always.
Because you're developing trust and a lot of control. And when someone is controlling, a lot of times what is missing is trust.
So the situation, I think both of you, what you said, yes, I agree with both of what you said. It doesn't necessarily apply in this situation. Again, not knowing the person, not knowing the story. But
Right.
Ashley, you hit it on the head, victimhood. That was the first, I think that was, yeah, right. That was your first thing out of your mouth, and that was what it was. But I will tell you this, and here's was my in thoughts in it. Again, knowing the person, there is something about when I do something, what are my intentions? Mel, you nailed it with expectations,
Yeah.
right? And I asked her, and this goes back to control, right? If I asked her, what was your intention behind sending the text in the afternoon or just sending the text, period,
It was to wait and see if they would text me first.
right? You were sitting in your victimhood all morning long, waiting for them. They didn't respond in the way you expected them to. So you took it into your hands to text them. And then you get response back from two of them, but you didn't get response back from the other two of them, so you continued in your victim mode. And I said to her, I said, here's what would have happened if you wouldn't have said anything? What if you wouldn't have said Merry Christmas? Hope you guys have an amazing day. What would have happened?
Probably nothing. But what would have happened if she'd have woke up Christmas morning and immediately called all four and said, Merry Christmas. I just want you to know I love you.
Exactly. Right?
Right? Like when I say nothing and I do nothing when what I really want is something, I'm being manipulative.
Right.
Right? If what I want is for to talk to my kids on Christmas and to be with my kids on Christmas and to show my kids that I love them on Christmas, and my kids aren't receptive to it, that's okay. I don't need my kids to receive it. I just need to tell them that I love them and I'm here and I want you to know I love you.
What one thing I'm gonna say that I find that was missing here for her. I don't know who we're talking about, but I feel that she wasn't there for herself. Because listen, not having your kids on Christmas, that hurts.
I can't imagine. It would be
It
so painful.
fucking hurts.
It does.
And she has every right to feel pain and
Of
hurt about
course,
that.
absolutely.
But however, she doesn't have a right to put that hurt and pain and let those kids make her feel better about that. That has to come from her.
Right. And I'm not going to say that she put this on her kids at
No,
all.
I'm
Right.
not saying that. I don't
Right.
know. I'm just saying, but the expectation that the kids are going to respond and she's going to feel better, that is kind of saying,
That's
"Hey,
control.
I'm putting this on my kids to make me feel better." But in essence,
Yes, it is control.
it was a very sad day for you. I feel
And that's
terrible for her. But
and that's
however,
really the ultimate what I was asking and getting back to is when I do this, right? When I go into something with an intention and an expectation of it, something happening on the other side, that is me controlling that situation because I'm trying to get something from it. Where, right, Ashley, like you noted, it's this why not just pick up the phone in the morning instead of sending out a mass text to all of them, right? I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call each one of them. I'm going to wish if they don't answer, that's okay. Maybe they're in the bathroom, maybe they're in the shower, maybe they don't want to talk to me, right? It
I
doesn't
leave them a
matter.
voicemail.
And I leave a voicemail. Hey, I love you. Just want to wish you Merry Christmas.
And if their voicemail is full or not set up, then I send a text. Hey, I
It,
tried to call. You must be busy. Just want you to know I love you. Merry Christmas.
but it's really visiting what is my intention on the other side of that.
That's it, right? Like if my intention is simply to show my children that I love them on Christmas, then I would show them I love them on Christmas. If my intention is to get my children to spend time with me on Christmas, that's a different situation.
Right.
or validate me or meet or make or get my
Make me
needs
feel better.
or get my needs met by another person's
Right.
by another person. I'm not meeting my
Right.
own needs.
That's a completely
Yeah,
different situation than
completely
simply showing
showing.
affection or love.
And then the other
Mhm.
thing I said to her too, I said, right, first of all, time doesn't matter, right? Whether you text your kids or your parents or whatever first thing in the morning, I mean, anyone with young kids, period, and this doesn't apply to her, but anyone with young kids in the morning on Christmas morning, we've all been there. We know how hectic it is, and I'm not trying to fucking answer the phone. I'm trying to be in the moment with my kids.
I didn't even know where my phone was on Christmas
Right?
morning.
Me
I did.
neither.
I waited for everyone to wake up, so that's when I was sending out all my Merry Christmases. But once everybody was up, I had no idea even where my phone was. So like there was like 4 hours I didn't care about my phone.
Yeah. And so it doesn't matter whether it happens in the morning, it doesn't happen in the afternoon. Right, time does not matter. It's what it really, and I told her this. I said, one of the things is you sat back and you waited till the afternoon. You sent out a text message with an expectation of getting something back or not get, like, right, you set an expectation. And I said, then you got let down because it didn't happen the way you wanted. And I said, what would have happened if I would have, if you, we maybe right? Maybe you made space for yourself, made space for them. What if you didn't text them at all? I didn't text Dylan first thing in the morning. I knew damn well I was going to talk to him later in the day. I don't need to control that. I don't need to whatever,
I
right?
didn't text or call either of my kids Christmas. I went to their house.
Right? I, and I think that's the thing. And I mean, whether you see your kids or you don't see your kids, that it, right? I know, understand that's a whole different beast, but make space for them. Make space for you. Because what happens? I asked her, I said, what would have happened if you wouldn't have sent anything? And what if all your kids would have texted you later in the day? And I said, think about the difference in feeling you would have had. Instead of this resentment and this negativity, there could have been, oh wow, they thought of me. Right? And the joy. And I think sometimes I'm not right again, not saying that would or wouldn't have happened. It's just sometimes if I always am that first thing to jump in and control and to manipulate to get what I need and want, am I making space for others to show up for me?
It's so important, Dawn. I'm so glad you said that because I used to be that person, right? Like I would text everybody on my birthday, it's my birthday, happy birthday, because nobody texted me on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
made sure to text them first, and it never felt like it mattered because I was always reminding them, manipulating them, talking them into, showing them, right? Like, even my ex, don't forget it's my birthday tomorrow. You got to make plans. I want to do something, but I'm not telling you what, but you got to make sure we do something. And then I would always be mad that we didn't do something.
Mm.
I just thought of the most. Ugh.
But you
Okay.
got to give someone
Okay. I gotta
one
give you.
1 second, Mel. Sorry, you just got to give someone a chance to show you that they can do it on their own. Go ahead,
And I
Mel.
think, sorry,
Oh,
I'm gonna, one sec, Mel. I know, you get a piece of paper and write this down, but write it down what you're thinking. But I think that's the thing, right? I think over my span of my life, I never allowed anyone to show up for me because I was always being the first one to be to, and you get, and now I think it's like stepping back. It's and allowing people to show up. People will show up if you can step back and let go of control. People will show up for you. Go ahead, Mel.
but oh my
Sorry.
God, I just thought, okay, this is just so cringe. You guys want to hear the cringiest thing I've done for around birthdays? This is cringe. Oh, just thinking about it, I'm so grossed out. Oh my God, I must have been in my late 20s, so 28 or something. I was turning 28 or 29. I was working for this company and, we always celebrated people's birthdays. And I was worried that no one was going to celebrate mine. So I went out and I bought myself my own card to pass around for everyone to sign. Tell me that's not cringe.
You wanted to make sure they didn't forget your birthday,
That is so, I'm thinking about it now and I'm like, oh my God, that's so
but you
cringe.
didn't even. But right, because you went out and got your own card, it took their chance to make you feel special away.
Yep.
You may
I
like I'm gonna give it to
know.
you, so you guys do make me feel special, and then
I
when
know.
they respond to it and they sign the card, it's like, oh well, you just signed the card because I gave it to you.
See, exactly.
But I did not. So there was something in me that did not have any trust, faith in anybody else that I went out and I did this cringe-worthy action.
I'm not, I don't think it's cringeworthy.
No, but
I
I'm
will,
just saying, like, looking back on it now, do you ever look back on like some of the like codependent stuff that you
oh,
did and you just go, ugh, it's terrible.
I I think what where it comes from is this conversation of something is the smallest thing can be control. The
Hmm.
smallest of things can be manipulation. The smallest of things can reflect low self-esteem or
But it's not intentional because if all
it,
this stuff was intentional, then we have to like actually take a really good look at our personality. Like we probably have, but
well, we should
but
have.
when it's not intentional, but you're doing these really weird things to feel good about yourself,
But I think that's the
or
whole thing
or you're
here.
looking to feel good from I don't even know what that was all about.
I think this is the thing, and this is what I told her as well. In that moment, before you typed that message or before you hit send, stop, pause, pause,
Love the
pause.
pause.
I got the pause hand.
And I'm over here
Pause.
saying pause,
We're if you could
pause.
see us, if you could see us, we're all got our hands up going, pause,
Thanks to
like
Zoom
stop,
doing the whole like automatic
stop.
command. Anyways, right, take pause and ask
Yeah.
yourself the question, whether it's a text message, whether it's something you're going to say, whether it's something you're going to do, pause and ask yourself, do I have an expectation for the other person to do, say, think, feel something?
I always
And
ask myself, what am I trying to get out of this?
right, there's
Yeah,
so many
that's a good
ways to say
question.
it.
Yeah.
And maybe you have to say, what am I going to get out of it? Do I want something in return, right? Maybe you have to label it the am I going to want them to think a certain way, feel a certain way, do a certain, right? It doesn't matter how it's said, but really what it is asking myself, am I trying to control, which means I'm trying to manipulate them to get them to do something that I want or think I need them to do. And if the answer to that question is yes, don't do it. Stop. There are the hands again. Stop and don't do it. If the answer is no, then hit send, make the call, do whatever it is. That is the way to in a way to navigate. That is the way to navigate control is take pause, step back, and really interrogate myself, ask myself the questions I need to know to be able to determine what are my intentions with this.
Hmm. What is the like? What outcome am I looking for?
Ideally, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
be the best me I can be right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also okay if I like, right, don't beat yourself up if the answer is yes. I'm trying to
Right.
get
It's
something.
awareness, right?
Yes.
What am I trying to get? Okay, I am trying to get something out of it. What am I trying to get? Why am I trying to get that? How can I give that to myself?
Yes. That is the key. Two podcasts worth of control comes down to this last 2 minutes of this is how I navigate control. I have to ask myself the questions. I have to, why am I doing this? Am I doing this? Right? Ask yourself those questions. And if you answer yes, if you answer no, proceed and keep asking yourself the questions.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, thank you for an amazing couple of control podcasts, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks,
Ashmel, I
guys.
love that. This one could have probably went into 3, 4, 20. Um, because control, it's a thing. The next one we're going to talk about is
Avoidance.
avoidance. Yes.
Woo! Let's all avoid avoidance.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we won't be here next week. We're going to be avoiding this topic. Yeah.
So, yeah, so look forward to talking to everybody next week on avoidance.
Yep. That sounds great. Well, everybody, I won't have a great new year. Oh, we're going
Oh,
into the new year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Have a
for
Our,
wonderful
us,
New Year.
yeah,
yes, for us recording, it's before New Year's.
it's going to be 2026.
Woo, Lordy, Lordy.
Yeah.
Yes, Happy New Year.
And
So,
I
All right. Thanks,
thanks
everyone.
everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.